Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini. I'm Sharma Screenless.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richard. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The Prime Minister expresses the belief that Sri Lanka Parliament will become the strongest parliament in Asia. An electronic mail confirms that Yoshitha Rajapaksa was holding the chairmanship of CSN Company. Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanaka claims that Yoshitha and others have been taken into custody for a massive financial fraud during the Rajapaksa regime. Local government representatives emphasize the need of contesting the upcoming election without dividing the SLFP. 2 more monks have been remanded for their unruly behavior opposite the Homagama courts. Myanmar gets the first freely elected parliament after 50 years.
Moving on to the news in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe expresses the belief that the Sri Lankan Parliament will become the strongest parliament in Asia within the next few months. He points out that the government has taken measures to strengthen the parliament and also the judicial system. The 3-day conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Union's Asian region began in Colombo today. The theme was the task of parliamentarians on human rights promotion and security. Parliamentarians of Pakistan, India, Maldives, Malaysia and Sri Lanka are attending the 3-day conference. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe noted that the present government has taken action to restore human rights as well as to protect it.
Seminar for members of Parliament on the role of Parliament. We make that clear. Parliamentarians Association and the Parliament of Sri Lanka.
Our whole approach is reconciliation and accountability. We are not talking accountability without reconciliation and reconciliation without accountability. How do we achieve it? Now this is the task. It's not an easy task. On one hand you want to know what has happened and who was responsible. On the other hand you have to now get on with your future. I met a gentleman from Kilinochchi area some time back and was asking about accountability, what are we doing? And I mentioned to him and he said, sir, you can file action against every member of the security force. But that is of no use to us if we can't get on with our lives. We have lost our loved ones, but we have learned how to put it behind us. We've lost our houses. We have no employment. If you don't address these issues, there can never be reconciliation. But we want to know what has happened to the missing people. Communities which had lived together for hundreds of years just fell apart. The glue came out. Now they are back again. But that's only a few houses, some temporary, some permanent. The glue that holds the community is not there. There are missing people, there are women-headed households. So those are issues. As much as there are the human rights issues that have come up in the south. In areas where they also have missing persons and what has taken place. So we have to have both reconciliation and accountability.
He pointed out the government is fully committed to fulfill the set of proposals reached unanimously in Geneva. The government of Japan has also agreed to hold a development conference targeting development activities in the north devastated by war. He further noted that the human rights problem will never crop up again.
Now this is what we are discussing.
The CPA, founded in 1911, is an association of Commonwealth parliamentarians who, irrespective of gender, race, religion or culture, are united by a community of interest, respect for the rule of law, individual rights and freedoms, and by pursuit of the positive ideals of parliamentary democracy. The association's statement of purpose states, "The CPA connects, develops, promotes and supports parliamentarians and their staff to identify benchmarks of good governance and the implementation of the enduring values of the Commonwealth. Values which unite the Commonwealth and which are clearly defined in the Commonwealth Charter. As one of those values, human rights is a practical tool to achieve good governance and can help to inform and deepen democracy in order to improve the lives of the people of the Commonwealth."
Sri Lanka is one of the 8 founding members of the Commonwealth and is firmly committed to the values and principles of the organization. Sri Lanka has chair in office of the Commonwealth from 2013 to 2015, actively advanced the outcomes and mandates endorsed by the heads of government at the slogan 2013, and will continue to extend its fullest support and reaffirm its commitment to democracy and good governance, which are common values that we share in the Commonwealth.
Parliamentarian Uday Gammanpillai says that Yoshitha Rajapaksa has not held any post in the CSN channel. However, Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira noted that the police investigations confirm that Yoshitha Rajapaksa has served as the chairman of the company. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that the police is bound to provide information to the court from time to time before the apprehension of suspects when conducting investigations on a complaint relating to a crime. The police have submitted 20 reports once in 2 weeks on the case number 9823 at the Kaduwala courts. MP Dinesh Gunawardena noted that they plan to take necessary action not only to get the release of all political prisoners, winning their rights against the anti-democratic government. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that Carlton is the brand of the Rajapaksa family. Everyone knows about it. They have lived in the Carlton residence in Tangol. Mrs. Rajapaksa's Montessori class is also called Carlton. The CSN business registration was made giving the address of this Montessori business address. Therefore, they cannot say that they were unaware about it. He asked as to such things were amounting to political revenge. MP Bimal Veeravansa said that Yoshitha Rajapaksa, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, has never held a post in CSN channel. He was involved into this matter to attack the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The JVP is laying the red carpet for this hunting. FCID knows only about the Money Laundering Act and the Public Property Act. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that the initial capital of this business was 234 million rupees. Police investigations revealed that a sum of $2.3 million had been infused into the CSN company capital and it was earned in a foreign country using illegal means. It was amounting to forged transaction. Yoshitha Rajapaksa, Nishant Ranatunga, Rohan Galavita and his team have failed to explain as to how they have earned this massive amount of $2.3 million. Similarly, Vele Sudha and his family have failed to explain as to how they earned those valuable properties. Therefore, he asked as to why the Money Laundering Act cannot be used against the Rajapaksa family because the same act is used against the family of Vele Sudha. The rule of the law equals to everyone.
Yoshitha Rajapaksa
MP Uday Gammanpillai said that they have no objection against the justifiable legal process against Yoshitha Rajapaksa or Mahinda Rajapaksa if they have committed an offence under the rule of law. We will not interfere into such action. He said that Yoshitha is not holding any post in the CSN channel. He was not served in any official capacity in the channel. Therefore, the apprehension of Yoshitha is unjustifiable. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that he would like to explain as to how Yoshitha has become the chairman and the chief decision maker of the CSN channel. According to the official statement issued by the police headquarters, the Naval Lieutenant Yoshitha Rajapaksa has served as the chairman and the main decision maker in the CSN channel, and this was clearly indicated in the email address relating to the company transactions. Yoshitha's email address is yoshitha@csn.lk. He asked as to how a naval officer had been involved in the CSN business.
Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka told a media conference in Colombo today that Yoshitha Rajapaksa and others were taken into custody in connection with a massive financial fraud during the Rajapaksa regime. Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka further noted that villagers have no idea about money laundering. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was trying to reduce the weight of the robbery by highlighting the English term money laundering. It should be explained to villagers, otherwise they will have to wait in the dark. The definition of this term in simple Sinhala language is horakama. Rajapaksa family is now listed as a family which has carried out the highest number of robberies within a short period. One of the big rogues of this family has been taken into custody. There was no involvement of the President or Prime Minister into this incident. They have not given telephone calls to the police to apprehend and remand those suspects. He said that he came to know that the 4 suspects had gained an opportunity to transfer themselves to the hospital, claiming that they are suffering from diabetes, pressure and heart ailments. Yoshitha cannot say that he is a patient because he is a naval lieutenant who received highest marks as a healthy person. He is now in difficulty. Citing an example, he said that where a thief was caught in a house, then he says that it is a political revenge. Under this setup, not a single rogue could be arrested, he said. The CSN channel has taken over the sponsorship of cricket matches which were entitled for the state television channel. They have earned billions of rupees from those sponsorships by misusing state power. The CSN wielded full powers and it is now known to the people. A big hand was behind the CSN. That was the Rajapaksha hand. It was brought before the rule of law today. This was not a political revenge. He said that this was the result of an investigation conducted for a period of 1 year in a correct manner.
Meanwhile, former First Lady Shuranti Wickramasinghe Rajapaksa visited the Presidential Commission probing serious fraud and corruption. She gave a statement to the Commission relating to her recommendation to provide a house to a media coordinator during the previous regime. It has been reported that this media coordinator had been given the house valued at 5.5 million rupees at a price of 500,000 rupees. The relevant letter of recommendation was forwarded to the National Housing Development Authority. A lawyer of Mrs. Shuranti Rajapaksa told media personnel that she has identified the letter issued by her to the authority. Attorney at Law Premanath C. Dolwata said that Mrs. Rajapaksa has clearly indicated in that letter that the person should be given some relief and he has no house to live. She has no idea relating to this issue, but she has identified the letter with her signature.
The Bharatiya Janata Party says that it will push for a permanent solution with Sri Lanka on the fishermen's issue. The Union Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, Pon Radhakrishnan, said that the BJP had ensured that more than 1,300 fishermen arrested by Sri Lanka were released in the last 1.5 years. He told a media conference in Coimbatore that the BJP-led Indian government was working to providing a permanent solution to this issue.
Meanwhile, 5 fishermen have gone missing when a fishing craft in which they were travelling collided with a ship and toppled thereafter yesterday afternoon. A multi-day fishing craft carrying 6 fishermen set sail for fishing in the deep sea on the 28th. One fisherman escaped following the collision with the ship. It has been reported that he was rescued by another boat. 5 residents of Hikkadu and Doranduwa areas have gone missing after the incident. The Fisheries Ministry says that 2 Doras of the Sri Lanka Navy were engaged in search operations to find the disappeared.
And from news at home to Asia in a minute.
Taiwan's newly elected legislative body kicked off a new 4-year term with its first session in the capital city of Taipei today. Asian stocks started a new month on a cautious note today with the Banks of Japan surprise policy sparking some buying, but further signs of economic weakness in China and a fall in oil prices keeping investors on guard. Japanese Nikon has taken down the winning entry to an amateur photography competition after a social media storm erupted over the obviously edited image. It has emerged that an identical image was posted on Instagram by another photographer 1 year ago. Thousands of Catholic faithfuls gathered in the Cebu city in Philippines yesterday for the closing mass of the International Eucharistic Congress.
Colombo Special High Court Commissioner R. Irangani Pereira today ordered the counsels of former financial controller of the LTTE, Emil Kanthan, to surrender to the court within 2 weeks. A case of the attempted murder of former Minister Douglas Devananda in Kaltara in 1998 is being heard against Emil Kanthan at the High Court. The High Court has issued an Interpol red notice and an order to arrest on site against him as he was awaiting the judiciary. The counsel said that the suspect cannot surrender to court due to this reason. Considering the submissions made by the counsels, the High Court judge has removed that order. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka told a media conference in Colombo today that a legal action will be taken against MP Anura Dissanayake if he repeats the allegation of providing tax concessions for vehicle imports. He said that MP Anura Dissanayake accusation was completely false. The Director General of Customs and heads of the Vehicle Importers Association attended the media conference held at the Finance Ministry in Colombo today. Director General of Customs Chulananda Pereira said that according to the newspaper report, around 710 vehicles had been imported, but we have taken action relating to 189 vehicles. The valuation committee takes a decision by considering the highest value of vehicle imported from Japan as the assessment value. The committee will not consider as to whether the vehicle is the additional features or not. The assessment will be made by taking it as a vehicle with high additional features. Accordingly, the government has recovered a sum of 1.6 million rupees as customs duty, and it has gained an additional revenue of 230 million rupees. These vehicles will be released to importers. There was no need to conduct an investigation again as the maximum custom duty had been paid, but the finance minister has the power to conduct an investigation at any time and recover taxes. Therefore, this decision has been taken legally. President of the Lanka Vehicle Importers Association in the Kasampath, Merinchage, noted that this tradition was not followed when conducting investigations. The customs will have to give a definite valuation for vehicles. Under this setup, the highest value has been fixed for these vehicles. Even for 3-year-old vehicles, the importers will have to pay a new tax. It was not the practice earlier. The minister took measures, taking measures from the government side that had recovered the highest revenue by imposing the tax. This matter has been settled at that time, but now they are trying to give a wrong impression. Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka said that the opposition, which was in government without any bond to the people, could create a black patch for a clean government, making character assassination unnecessarily. He vehemently rejects such attempts of opposition MPs. MP Anura Dissanayake was still silent after making his statement. It was a complete lie. If you repeat such statements, then he will have to take legal action against him, he said.
Sri Lanka's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Harsha De Silva, during his recent high-level visit to Vietnam, had discussions with high-ranking officials on attracting investments from the Vietnamese businesses to the island nation. During the visit, the Sri Lankan Deputy Minister called on his counterpart, Leo Hoai Trung, the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Du Thang Hai, the Vice Minister for Industry and Trade, Deputy Director General of Foreign Investment Agency counterpart of the Sri Lanka Board of Investment, Dang Chuang Quang, meanwhile called on the Deputy Minister. The main focus on the discussion between the Vice Minister Leo Hoai Trung and the Deputy Minister was Vietnam's strategy on economic development sectors for bilateral cooperation, with special emphasis on attracting investments to Sri Lanka.
A group of fishermen staged a protest demonstration in Negombo today. The demonstration demanded the authorities to focus their attention on the suspension of fishing using Laila and Suruku nets. A large number of fishermen of Manna, Batiklo, Jaffna, Trincomalee, Puttalam, Negombo, Kalpiti and Maravilla areas converged on the city of Negombo to participate in the protest demonstration. They said that these illicit fishing methods should be completely banned because it's destroying fish resources. 3 turns of train operations have been from Colombo to Negombo have been suspended owing to protest demonstration. Transportation has also been disrupted on the Negombo-Colombo highway. Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Minister Director Christy Lal Fernando visited the scene of the protest to hold discussions with the fishermen, but our correspondent reported that those fishermen were there till 7 p.m. today. Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Minister Mahinda Amaravira told Rupavahini that an order has been issued to ban these fishing methods with effect from the 21st of this month. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that he has no fishing boat, fishing net, or not even a toy boat. Therefore, he has no intention to get any benefits or profits. Even under this setup, some organizations were trying to get political advantage using this issue. He said that there was no attempt to lift the ban imposed on illicit fishing. Lifting or imposing ban will be carried out irrespective of political decisions.
Well, the second round of seeking public views to devise a new constitution began today. The members of the committee appointed for this purpose will entertain public views in 24 districts. The committee members are seeking public views as two separate teams. The hearing of public views in the Kandy district took place at the Kandy district secretariat under the patronage of committee chairman, attorney at law Lal Vijayanaka. A large number of people were there to make their submissions to the committee. The seeking of views and suggestions of the people of the new constitution took place at the Gampa district secretariat. Harini Amarasuri chaired the meeting. A large number of people, including members of civil organizations, scholars, have made their submissions to the committee.
The High Commissioner of Pakistan in Sri Lanka, retired Major General Syed Shakil Hussain, says that Pakistan and Sri Lanka continue to enjoy excellent relations as there is a strong will on both sides to further develop and promote these relations. Pakistani envoy made these observations while briefing a delegation on International Relations Department on Preston University Islamabad campus, which visited Pakistan High Commissioner in Sri Lanka for an interactive session with the Commissioner and officers of High Commission. The 8-member delegation led by Dr. Zulfikar Ali Qureshi comprises of 2 professors and a PhD scholar and currently visiting Sri Lanka on a study tour. Retired Major General Shakil Hussain emphasized that such visits and people-to-people contacts are an excellent way to promote understanding and friendship between the two countries.
2 monks have been remanded until the 9th of this month for their alleged unruly behavior opposite the Homagama court. A group of people, including some bhikkhus, behaved in an unruly manner opposite the Homagama court when Galagadatte Jnanasarathera had been taken into custody recently. The Homagama magistrate ordered the police to apprehend the suspects and produce before court. Accordingly, these 2 monks surrendered to the police today. They were produced before the court and later remanded. 4 more suspects connected to this incident have been remanded yesterday.
Now, the 68th National Independence Day ceremony will be held at the Golf Green in Colombo on the 4th of February under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. This year's theme is One Nation, Great Power. An all-night prayer chanting ceremony will be conducted on the 2nd of February at Independence Square in Colombo in connection with the National Independence Day celebrations under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. An almsgiving for the members of the Mahasangha will be held at the Hunupatiya Gangarama Temple on the 3rd of February. Buddhist religious observances will be conducted at Polvatta Dhammakirtiya Rama Temple in Colombo at around 6:30 a.m. on the Independence Day under the patronage of the Prime Minister. Hindu, Islam, Catholic and Christian religious ceremonies will be held in the morning of the Independence Day with the participation of several ministers. A ceremony to pay floral tributes at the statue of Sri Lanka's first Prime Minister D.S.N. Nanayake in the morning of the same day. A cultural and musical extravaganza will take place at the Golf Green at 7 p.m. on Independence Day under the patronage of the President and Prime Minister. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has made arrangements to bring a live telecast on Independence Day celebrations. A media conference convened to brief journalists and a discussion on the preparedness of the Independence Day celebrations was held at the Prime Minister's office in Colombo today. Home Affairs Minister Vajira Abeyewardene, Defence Secretary, commanders of the 3 armed forces and the IGP were among those attended the discussions.
Local footwear and leather manufacturers need to be linked to global markets. This series of exhibitions is the best platform for the Lankan footwear and leather sector to enter the competitive global markets. This was stated by the Additional Director General of the EDB, Jeevani Sirivardhana, at the pre-event briefing on the International Footwear and Leather Expo. Well, over 50 manufacturers are due to take part in this exhibition at the BMICH from February 5th to the 7th. The Footwear and Leather Exhibition Series is a joint effort of the Sri Lanka Export Development Board, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, the Industrial Development Board and the Sri Lanka Footwear and Leather Products Manufacturers Association. It has been attracting more global exhibitors since its launch in 2007 and has now become the showcase of the latest Sri Lankan footwear and leather production and design trends. There will also be several competitions such as Best Designs Product and also Best Stall, Most Innovative SMEs and also a fashion show as well. This year, 106 local and 16 foreign firms will display their products in 230 stalls. Prospective buyers from India, Pakistan, Oman, Kenya will participate in this fair.
And your trading details today, the all-share price index closed at 6,363.18 points, increased by 23.13 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 3,322.49 points, increased by 20.48 points at the end of the trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 200 million rupees. Interesting stuff from Myanmar coming up next.
International stories. The first freely elected parliament in Myanmar for up to 50 years has held its opening session. Hundreds of new MPs, mostly from the National League for Democracy, but also some smaller parties have been sworn in and also taking their seats as well. The NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, won 80% of the contested seats in November's historic election, but a quarter of all the seats are reserved for the military, which also retains control of the key ministries. One of the new parliament's first jobs will be to choose a new president when outgoing leader Thein Sein steps down at the end of March. Suu Kyi, who spent 15 years under house arrest under the former military government, cannot take up the job. The clause in the constitution, which was widely seen as specifically targeting her, says anyone whose children are foreign cannot be president. Her sons are British, not Burmese. For most of the last 20 years, Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD has been treated as the enemy here, since its activities suppressed and its leaders jailed. Now hundreds of them are being sworn in as MPs. Even when the 25% of the army-appointed representatives are included in the NLD, still have a majority. The identity of the country's next president is still a closely guarded secret.
Here's more foreign news in brief. An emergency meeting of the World Health Organization is being held to discuss the explosive spread of the Zika virus. The meeting in Geneva will decide whether to declare a global emergency. WHO officials have described Zika as moving from a mild threat to one of the alarming proportions. Most cases will have no symptoms, but the virus has been linked to brain abnormalities in thousands of babies in South America. The EU's police intelligence unit says that more than 10,000 migrant children may have disappeared after arriving in Europe over the past 2 years. Save the Children says more than 26,000 child migrants arrived in Europe last year without any family. At least 71 people have died in blasts near the Shia shrine of Sayyidid Zainab, south of Syria's capital in Damascus.
Moving on to the sports arena, Sri Lanka will meet Pakistan in the final match of the preliminary round of the Under-19 World Cup cricket tournament. Sri Lankan cricketers were seen practicing for the match at the Sher Bangla National Stadium in Mirpur today. The Sri Lanka-Pakistan Under-19 World Cup match will be played at the Sher Bangla Stadium the day after tomorrow. Sri Lanka was in the Group B and they will have to beat Pakistan to move into the first place in the group. Sri Lanka beat Canada by 196 in a previous match and they also beat Afghanistan by 33 runs. Sri Lanka is qualified to play in the quarter-final round matches in the Under-19 World Cup cricket tournament.
Quick check on the weather before we go. The Met Department says that except for few showers that may occur in the eastern and lower provinces, mainly fair weather will prevail over the island. That's it. That's a look at Rupavahini News for tonight. Thanks a lot for joining us.